I think now everything else, the previous ones plus now this one's like, now this is it. I'm dealing with every single one of them at this particular point, because I'm like, no, I don't understand what this is.
And you still don't know what.
And I still don't understand why. I don't know what caused the loss. So I was like, no medical reason whatsoever why I'm going through this. No family. I have not heard of family members who've lost their children. My mother has never lost her kids. Sometimes you can try and peg some of those experiences. Yes.
And of course.
Like, okay, probably it's in the family, there's something like that happens. The only response that I got from the doctor is, it's normal. Go try again. Wait another 6 months and try again. I'm like, wow, kweli ni ng'ombe.
People, and welcome to Cradle Love by Grace Ikirap. And today I am hosting an incredible lady. She's bubbly, she's happy. Ikiona meruka kwa ikiti ya mendele sending in a sister. So ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Soila Curtis. Let me just tell you, I match energy. So I don't know where we're going today. Where we land, only God knows. She's a mother, she's a wife, and she's a content creator, and she loves God.
Yes.
And she's here with us today.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. Please feel free to talk.
Yeah. Kunywa tu maji. Atujeka tissue lakini.
Oh, we will be crying.
I think so. No.
If in case we need, Diana will run for tissue. So how are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me here.
Karibu
Wonderful. I'm really honored. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm well.
How is life?
Life is beautiful and busy. I think with the economy right now, I know everybody's complaining about it, but we all have to work extra hard to save another extra coin. Because the same 1,000 bob that would feed our family for like 2 days. Back then, it's a day. Yeah, maziwa na mkate, and then you're done. Na snacks ya mtoto, particularly if you have children, Mukiwa wawili you can survive sometimes. But now with children and school fees and what, you think beyond today, beyond the month. You're like, okay, we still have like 3 months for a term to elapse and all that. So life is good, but God is great,
God is great.
Yeah, God is
Your
great.
kids, how old are they now?
Remani is my firstborn. He's 3 years and a few months. Imora is 1, and she's actually 1.5.
1.5.
Yeah, she's actually 1.5.
Remani is in school, I guess.
Yes, he's in school. He just actually finished his baby school, because they go for playgroup. At around 2 years. I took him at 2 years. Yes, I go to playgroup at 2 years.
Where did you get the grace?
I know.
I just want to keep
It's actually him. It's him who actually made me take him, because now I started getting bored at home. We didn't have many kids around, So I was like, okay, I think you'd really thrive in class. And he loved it. He was one of those kids. He didn't cry. He actually loved it. He kept on asking, when I'm going to school again. I was like, oh, there you
children
are.
are very few to find.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I know children we've taken to school and
I was actually being told, yes. Some parents have to stay there for a week until they get familiarize themselves with the school and everything, and then now you can live.
But I guess it's maybe preparing the baby
early in advance.
And again, if it comes from them, even better.
Better.
Okay, so Soila has a journey. Before we talk about Remani and Imora, those names, I'm gonna need to know what they mean. But before we get there, there's a journey Soila has been. Oh, Curtis is the husband, by the way. Si ati ni mzungu.
Ni Mluya.
Soila is not a mzungu. You know the way you have 2 English names?
Soila Curtis Wamalwa.
You know?
Do you go there?
Wamalwa.
I think it's
Soila,
in the...
But Curtis doesn't look like a Wamalwa. He looks like a black American.
I know,
it's fine, right? I just nakupaka tu after every time. He doesn't look like a Wamalwa. I know people who look like their second names.
Yeah. Grace.
I'm just saying it doesn't. It's a compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Soila, how did you meet Curtis?
Wow, it's a long story. Curtis insists there are 2 versions to this story.
Oh,
but
so
since
yes,
I'm the one
yes.
here, yes, but since I'm the one here,
Please shine.
my version goes.
Yeah,
we met in Daystar University.
Okay.
I was actually a freshman, and then he was a senior, about to leave. He actually was left with 1 semester to do his exams and then leave. I met him at, normally for production team, they're supposed to do, for I think communications, there's an assignment to do sort of a movie. There was a lot of work, honestly, for the communication department. So they were acting one of those movies in school. And freshmen were called to be like extras, like the wedding attendees, because they didn't have a lot of attendees. Yes, to judge the crowd, tumekuja harusi, familia mwanaume, familia msichana. So that's why I found him, because he was walking down the aisle. And I found, yes, he was in the best, whatever.
Oh, he was not
yes,
the groom.
No, he was not the groom. No. So I just noticed him, and that was it. I think from that, I was just coming off other relationships, and I wasn't really looking to be into a relationship at that particular time, to be in a relationship.
By freshman, this is how old now?
I was like, it was my first semester.
So you were like a baby?
I was 20, no, 20.
19 almost.
That was 2012, right? Curtis?
He's shaking his head. Like, yeah. So,
yeah.
20s, your
20s,
early
yes,
20s.
very early 20s, like the beginning of 20s, 2012, 21 actually, yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
And so now you appear as a...
So yes, I met him there. Then, so I noticed him at that particular day. He didn't see me. And then another time, Curtis now sees me at a different set, yes. I think he was in the TV room. I was coming from the DCF office, which is Daystar Christian Fellowship place. And then he saw an interesting girl, and that was it. Then we now got to speak and talk at the Unashamed concert. Lakre came to Kenya. And then we met at Mavuno, huko chini. That's where we met. So I went there with my friend, but she decided to leave me. When she left me, I was now in the crowd of, I think, KU students. So it was really an unfamiliar place. And then I saw Daystar students, and it's him that I saw. I was like, I know this guy from Daystar. And I think since he also noticed me like a week before, he was like, boy, the girl looks lonely, yada yada, let me call her.
No, she doesn't look lonely. Okay.
So I just went to him, and then he started talking, yada yada, what do you do? What class are you in? What are you pursuing?
Didn't know?
No, what are you He didn't know. He didn't know. We hadn't talked, ever.
So
it's just like
you should have stalked. No sooner that seen you that I knew what you
were. So we spoke, like, yeah. So he was going back to school, me I was going back to my auntie's place, my cousin's place, actually. And that's how we started exchanging numbers, and I started communicating. And then I remember after a semester, he was done his exams, he was gone. Now it was just me in school, and then him tamaking in Nairobi trying to find a job. Yeah.
So he even finished and left you?
Yeah, he left me in campus. Because me, I was starting, him is done. Which I loved, because I think sometimes relationship is a distraction. I loved that he wasn't in school. At least I would easily focus. I don't know how it would have been if he was in school with me. But yeah, it was akona mpango zake. So we just used to meet on Sundays, because they invited me to the church that we now normally go to. And now we used to meet Sundays. I'd come to church and then go back. And then again, my family don't come from Nairobi. Or we come from Narok. So I just come, go to my auntie's at Karen, we'll meet on Sunday, and then I'll go to Athi River, because kuna bus na kungojeanga Valley Road. Wende shule.
So how long has it at least until you decided we walking like down the aisle?
Down the aisle.
Girlfriend was different.
Yeah, that was no. You don't dive like that.
Oh yeah, okay. So what were you looking for on Sunday?
Just being friends. Or now, at that particular time, now we're already girlfriend. But it took us like 3 months, 4 months for him to ask me out. Like, define the relationship now. What is this? And then
what are we?
Yeah, what are we? What is it? Yeah, what are we?
Yes.
DTF. DTR, define the relationship. And then it was official. And then now from there, now we used to meet over the weekends for church, yada yada. And then it took us 4 years. And then he proposed to me. Yes, to propose. Then like around 6 months to get married. Yeah, so we did it like 4 years. And then got married, and now we are married we actually next month will be turning 7 years. 7 years, Curtis? 7 years?
Curtis, I feel like you should be in this interview.
So next year we'll be turning 7 years. Would have completed 7 years of marriage and enter into the 8th year of marriage.
So 4 plus 7, that's 11. You've known each other.
Yes, exactly, 11 years. Long time to know a man.
So now, after you got married, long time to know a man. How long was it? So now you've gotten married, you've settled, all of you finished school.
Yes.
The journey
working
starts
and all that.
Now
the journey
life
starts now.
Yeah.
Family building and all that. Life starts. He's teaching at a school somewhere. I'm doing production. Actually, I've done a lot of things from media, writing, magazines. That's print work, and then now production, TV stuff, yada yada. And then from there, I transitioned now to go to marketing proper.
Okay.
It was a financial service company. I think now, because I remember very well now, at that particular time is when now we were a bit settling. I was like, it's time to be family, you know, we can now grow our family.
Yeah.
And
by growing, you mean
having children. But for us, it wasn't really like intentional per se. It was just a thought in the mind.
Because I think you were all very...
Yeah, we were very young, because I got married at 2016. I was 25.
Ooh.
Yes, I was 25. He was 26.
Wow.
So we got married at that point. We were very young. So around 2018, now we're like about 2 years into marriage. Yeah, we're like, now we can probably increase the number of people in this family.
In this house.
Let's make it a bit more fun.
Let's get noise.
Yes, let's get noise. And then I remember that particular time, my work environment was very toxic. Honestly, it made me hate Kenyan corporate culture. It was really bad. I don't know, because now the first time I noticed that I was pregnant, I didn't know I was pregnant until I started bleeding. After I'm like, wait, what? First of all, I missed my periods. I'm like, okay, I might actually be pregnant. I hadn't confirmed it with the doctor and everything. So that just came and went the way it was. And then now when that happened, we are now very intentional about, you know. I think we got pregnant by oopsies, we are pregnant. And then now it's like, okay, now we need to be serious about this thing. Once we know we are pregnant, we need to go to the doctor. I started reading books, started watching videos about how to carry yourself the first trimester. What do you do when you get pregnant, when you notice you've missed your period, and did that. So it became now very intentional. And again, remember, I'm battling the corporate Kenya stuff. Work being tough. So I remember having a lot of hospital visits because of headache, stress, pressure at work. And I don't know if it's fair for me to attribute some of those things to just the pressure that my body was feeling.
The stress.
Yes, the stress level. So I was like, but anyway, let's see where this goes. You know, let's just try. If I can see a doctor early in advance, probably things can be better. And after reading, people say it's normal to go through a miscarriage. And they say before you even notice, sometimes it's chromosomal disorder. That's what they call it. Yes, they say it's chromosomal disorder. Probably the baby didn't form so well, and then your body just expels it out. Now we are ready to now properly be family members here, to have extra people in the family. We get pregnant again, and then at
so the first pregnancy you noticed the miscarriage after you started
bleeding? Yes, I was like, particularly actually it was even different, because normally I don't have like pain. Even the bleeding itself was heavier with a lot of stuff. Yes, I was like, this is actually very different. When I went to the doctor, I was like, yeah, I think you are actually pregnant. We actually went to the doctor. Like, I think this is a missed, they call it a missed abortion. That's what they call it. I was like, oh, interesting. All right, now that I know.
So no emotion, nothing. You were just
no emotions and everything. I was just like, okay.
Maybe it's because you were not expecting.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I wasn't really there yet. So the second pregnancy, again, got pregnant. Then around 7 weeks. I remember I was hosting a party in the house. My friends had come over. We were just having tea, yada yada. I felt a certain pain. I went to the bathroom, and I saw I was bleeding. And then that one I knew, because around 4 weeks I already knew that I'm pregnant. Because man, umesha miss, and then 2 weeks, yada yada. Even the way your body feels, it's a bit different. Pee on the stick and everything. You have the double line. You know you're pregnant. I was like, okay. They normally say it's okay to bleed in pregnancy. There's a double,
it's staining.
It's staining. A little spotting. They call it spotting. I was like, probably this is it. But it was a bit redder than normal. So I was afraid. Also for me, I was like, I wasn't accepting it. I was like, no, this is not it. So you just wipe yourself, wear your clothes, go and entertain your guests.
So there was no pain, nothing?
There was no pain, literally. It was just okay. Then I went, that's why I was like, oh, probably this is just spotting. Went, finished with the guests, they left. And then at 8 p.m., I'm telling, because I left 7, they left around 7. I tell Curtis, I think I'm actually going through a miscarriage. Like, why? I was like, I'm actually properly bleeding. It's a lot. Now I have to wear a pad, you know. It's like, hey, let's call the doctor. So we call the guy now. He's like, hey, you need to be in the nearest hospital possible. Just go be checked and everything. I was like, okay, sawa. So let's start calling. I know we used to live in Kikuyu. We drove all the way to South Bay to a specific hospital. It was so packed. And I think I think everybody's case is an emergency. That's how they carry it. So utangojea tu kwa laini, no matter what you're going through. You know what I mean? My man, I'm like, probably there's a way we can save this thing.
I know.
I was like, madam, what's happening? I think I'm going through a miscarriage, yada yada. I was like, oh, okay, sit there. We have to call gynecologist. Yes. Okay. Sit, wait, because gynecologists are on call. They don't stay in the hospital. It was around 8 p.m., 9:30 now. We sat on that waiting area for so long until he came. Mtu akufungua sijui pali afanya scan. It took so long. We went. Then he did the scan. So when doing the scan, he couldn't see anything. When they did the what do you call it? The blood test for the I think they call HCG level and P test and everything. Yes, they could literally tell, oh, madam, you were actually pregnant. I'm like, I know I was pregnant because I had the positive marks and everything. I'm sorry, you've lost your baby. Here are the drugs to clean up, and also to now it started becoming painful actually. Also for you to just help flush it out completely, and also for you not to feel the pain. Here's madawas. I'm like, oh, okay, that's it. No counseling, no nothing. You know, try again. I remember he was very quick because kuna watu wengine kwa laini, you know, kuna wengi, and then it's usiku. I was like, okay, sawa. I mean, it looks like this is life.
Were you just? I think you were on autopilot at this time.
I was on autopilot because these things don't hit you until you go back home, and then it's the two of you again. Like, what just happened? You know. And how do we process this? Remember, I still have to go to work, put yourself together, go back to work, deliver, and still come back home. When your husband process at work, you don't talk about those things. You know, no one cares about, let's say, your health per se. It's mbona ujafanya ishask, mbona this is not done. I was like, oh, okay, sawa. So I had to know how to draw the boundary between professional relationships and our home relationship.
So you had to clean up yourself at night and then.
Oh yeah. And then I didn't know how to. And then I hadn't had this conversation before with other women who've gone through it, apart from whatever you watch on YouTube. That's where my consolation used to be. You know, you watch other women have gone through it and like, how did you handle it? They speak about it. And a lot of white women, the YouTubers on the Americans who talk about it a lot.
Because they are comfortable.
Yes, they're comfortable having that conversation. I hadn't. Yes. Yeah. Let me tell you, I hadn't even told my sister and my mom about it. It was just myself and my husband knowing what was going through. Like, here, your daughter.
Oh, she's there.
Yeah. So did that, and then we called her again. I was like, so what's the way forward here? It's like, now you have to wait for like 3 months, 3 to 4 months. 4 months, actually 4 to 6 months before you try again. Give yourself, your body time to heal, go back hormonal balance to normal. And I was like, okay, let's wait. And we waited. I think now we are really determined. For me, I think my remembrance of that journey is I never gave up.
Okay.
I never gave up. And then now this is the second time, that was the third time. You know, the doctor told me, now the moment you notice for sure you are pregnant, you come to the clinic. I need to give you the folic acids. I need to give you this pregnant care thing is. I was like, sawa. The moment I noticed it, like at 4 weeks, missed period, peed on the stick, the thing is 2 lines. I was like, let's go to the hospital. We went to him.
How long was this after the first one?
Like about 6 months. 6 months. So we went to the doctor, gave us everything. Like, yeah. Now this is how you should be doing it. You know, the moment you know you're pregnant, you come to the hospital. I know mamas wait for long. Ati wanangojeanga 6 weeks, 7 weeks hapo. When you're so sure that's when you come. Yes, ndo yanze. No, you come immediately. You notice you're pregnant. I was like, yeah, I've done everything according to the book. Went there, got my dawas and everything. Go back home, watching what I'm eating, how I'm carrying myself.
Were you still processing the other one, or you were just?
I think not really. Now I'm excited about this new pregnancy.
Okay. So
but again, there's fear of whatever happened the last time.
I can imagine.
Yes, I was like, okay, let's do this now the right way. Now, as I'm I'm following everything to the T.
Yeah.
We are going for clinic days. We are taking the dawa. I'm eating well. I'm not stressing enough. You know, at work, nimejujua sasa hata mimi najua fight for my rights. I can't do this. Yes, I'm not staying late at work, you know. 5 mefika, I come here earlier, I'll leave earlier, you know. Like sawa. Then we get to six weeks. Fear, anxiety. This is the time we lost the first baby. Like, oh, okay, we are fine. 6 weeks mepita. Come to 7 weeks. This is the second time we lost the other child, you know, the second pregnancy. So again, a bit of anxiety and a bit of caution and everything. Like, aye, we finished 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. My goodness, we're in the second trimester, 12 weeks. This time we're in church, praise and worship in Amalizika. I started feeling, I was wearing heels that day. Yes, my pants, some sort of. And I couldn't wear jeans. Then praise and worship, I was wearing heels that day, but they weren't too high. I felt something, a familiar sort of pain. I was like, I know this pain because it's very familiar from the previous experiences. So let me just sit down. I sat a bit. I was like, it's not going away. It's like cramps, sort of. I was like, it can't be, you know. Okay, it's becoming a bit uncomfortable. Let me go to the car. So I took the car keys, went to the car, and decided to lie down, remove my high heels, wear flats, and lie down. And then I started thinking, am I feeling pain because I wore high heels? Did I put pressure on my back, you know, and everything? And then it can subside. I was back in church. Like 30 minutes, the pain comes again. Now, I'm feeling some certain, it's like I'm peeing on myself. I'm like, what's happening? So I go back to the car, and I tell Curtis. Actually, my friend came to check me, like, why do you keep on leaving church? What's happening? I'm like, I don't know what's happening. She knew I was pregnant. Hadn't told many people. Again, after losing the other pregnancies, I wasn't so quick to share that I'm pregnant again. Until you guys can tell by yourself by seeing the baby. And started to, it's like, I don't know what's happening. I think we should go to the doctor. So luckily, my doctor was like a fence after where our church used to be. So I called, we decided to call Curtis, can we go? I think there's something happening. I feel like I'm peeing on myself, but it wasn't so much. Like water is coming out. It wasn't blood, it was actually water. So we go, it was actually water. We go inside the other building, and the parking is full because the church, the hospital shares a fence with the church.
So you guys
instead of what park or something, it's Sunday, you know. Hey. So Curtis atafute parking, me I had to figure my way. Asma, okay, you, because of the emergency, just try and walk with your friend till the reception area. I couldn't walk. It was so much. By the time I was getting there, I remember I took my sweater and placed it there. Because it was so much. Now water was coming out a lot. I'm like, what's happening? Am I peeing on myself? Because then I can't control it. Because you can control pee. This is just water coming out. Okay, now everybody's looking at you in the parking lot because also church inaenda kuisha, then got there. The nurses are just casual. I'm like, can I see, is there a gynecologist? I say the name of the guy because I've been going there. He's like, no, he's not. It's Sunday, he's not in. Can you call him? He doesn't come in on Sundays. I was like, I shouted, I think I'm losing my baby. It's like, wait, what? Okay. So they called him. In the meantime,
could tell that why
I know they couldn't tell because nimekaa chini sana nimejifunika. They're not in a hurry, you know. When I shouted, they were like, oh, this is serious. So they called the guy, and then the general doctor who was there, they're like, I'm in so much pain. I need something. They took me somewhere, removed my clothes and everything. I was telling my sister, my friend, like, can you see something? Because now when I removed my pants and everything, you could see something. There's some. It was a sack. I think it's the water now that was coming out. You know, that's the water first that was coming out. Then I saw the sack. She could see the sack. I was like, what is this? I couldn't believe. Now autopilot mode, just to preserve myself. That's what happened. That's what I went into. Then the doctor comes and like, I'm in so much pain. We need to get me painkillers because no blood is coming out. And water is coming out. I don't know what's happening here. I was waiting for the gynecologist to come and help us to know what to do. They couldn't do a scan because they have to wait for that doctor to come in. So, nikapatiwa dawa.
You were actually labor.
Yes, that's what. Yes, I was feeling that.
You were labor.
He comes, dungas me, and then they cleaned me up. They gave me that robe, removed my jeans. It couldn't even be worn again. Then the doctor came. Then they wheeled me to his office. It's like, balala apa. He did a scan again. He could just see little. But he puts there's something like tongs. Then it's like everything is stuck around the cervix area. They're not coming out. It's not in the womb, and it's not out. Because when he did that tongue thingy, like the flesh that came, I was like, what? Yeah. Sorry. So he told me, you know what? This is not the kind that I'll give you dawa to just go flash it, because normally they do it. You are 12 weeks. Yes, the baby's the fetus is a bit bigger, so we have to clean it. I'm like, what does that mean? Surgery. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, we have to take you in because you're in so much pain. It's not coming out. It's like a big chunk is stuck somewhere. It can't come out. So
it's dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous. So akasema, we just have to go and do the DNC. I was like, okay, sawa. Wheeled into the theater. The last thing I remember is him. I don't know what you were talking about. That's it, because he started now having just normal conversation that is unrelated to the baby and everything. Next time I'm in the ward somewhere. I was like, yeah, everything was literally stuck there. I was like, wait, what happened? Yeah, I'm sorry. So I think I had slept, I don't know for how long, for an hour plus after the anesthesia. So when I woke up, he was called and then said, hi, Soila, how are you feeling? I'm like, I'm very high on the dawa. I'm still very high. So what happened? So yeah, we had to do a DNC because the tissue was stuck somewhere there. We had to go through DNC just to clean up. Sometimes if you don't clean up, you can get infections. So they had to remove the extra material in the womb, in the uterus. Yes, the uterus. And then just ensure that you're completely clean so that you don't have any infections afterwards. And
what was going on in your head at this point?
Nothing, Gracie, nothing. I was like blank.
Did you want to see the sac? Or did you ask
exactly.
to see?
You know, let me tell you now. I was like, could you tell what's happening with what happened, what caused this? Akasema, we can't. Did you preserve? Akasema, no, we just.
They disposed
it? Yeah, they disposed it. They don't ask. I was like,
but the fetus was found.
Yeah, they disposed it. I was like, you. I was like, Aki Hospital, and yet they don't really. Sometimes people, they don't care. You know, when you see something, there's closure to it.
Yeah, that's actually it.
There's closure.
You needed that closure.
Yeah, but no, they don't. I'm like, did you then even do a bit of tests to know what? Because I know other people can easily do those things. Like, no, it happens. It's normal, you know. I was like, okay.
So what was the reason? What was causing all these miscarriages?
Never gave me because they dispose of everything. I think for him, even that's why I changed my gynecologist. Because he kept on saying it's normal for you to lose. I'm like, no. I can't consecutively lose pregnancies like that. Yeah. My body is fine. And even with the second one, or this third one or fourth one, you cannot tell me there's a reason to it. You know, at least if you're concerned about it, you could say, okay, I think we should do a few tests here and here.
Find out
let's find out what's yeah, he didn't. I was like, this is it. I'm not. Thank you so much. Gave me the dawas, but I said I've never stepped into that hospital since. I don't even want to go back there. But I think I'm also healed from that experience. But for me, it's the insensitive aspect of some of these doctors when a new mom is losing, you know.
The first time,
first time mom, first time mom, raised children, like like oh yo, and then for me it's like, Kwani, is it so hard to get pregnant? Is it hard to have children? And then now starting questioning, my God, where are you? What's happening to me? What have I done? And then I start looking inward. What did I do to cause this? I shouldn't have worn the heels, man. I shouldn't have stood in church and singing. You know, probably I'm the one who, you have to, you know, your body, your mind trying to find a reason to know why.
Going back home after the surgery.
So cleared up. I remember when my friend had to go to her mom's home to get me something to wear.
You had to leave the hosi.
Yes, to leave the hosi and just go back home. And I remember driving back home with her, and Curtis was driving. What am I talking actually? It was just quiet the entire time.
Still on autopilot?
Yeah, still on autopilot, nothing, no conversation. We get home. Then she's like, are you guys okay? Yeah, and then she left. That's when it hit me. Strike one. I was like, what just happened? You know? But anyway, you know, God is there, you know, God is there. Go back to sleep. But niko autopilot. Yeah, niko tu kwa haze. Nothing, no reality check. I think my body is now image protect to somehow the mind. Then the following day is when everything came crashing down. I was like, first of all, I remember I had asked for, because it was around August. I remember asking for I was supposed to have gone for my leave days. I was due for my leave days. So I called my boss. I'm like, I'm not coming because already it's time for my leave days. I'm not showing up. I hadn't shared what had happened. It's like, no, so there's a lot of work to do in the office. You have to show up. I'm like, I don't think so. I was like, no, we can still push your leave days ahead. I like, okay, I have to tell them. So I told her, it's like, I'm really sorry. You can take your leave days.
So at least that's enough.
Yes, yeah. That's enough reason to take your leave days. So my leave day was like 7 days. So took the whole week. Those were the longest, like 7 days ever. Every day, I got into depression. Curtis had to get a counselor to just come and help me process the emotions that I was going through. Curtis himself didn't have, I think now everything else, the previous ones plus now this one's like, now this is it. I'm dealing with every single one of them at this particular point, because I'm like, no, I don't understand what this is.
And you still don't know what.
And I still don't understand why. I don't know what caused the loss. So I was like, no medical reason whatsoever why I'm going through this. No family. I have not heard of family members who've lost their children. My mother has never lost her kids. Sometimes you can try and peg some of those experiences. Yes,
and of course.
Like, okay, probably it's in the family. There's something like that happens. The only response that I got from the doctor is, it's normal. Go try again. Wait another 6 months and try again. I'm like, wow, kweli ni ngombe. How many? Is it monthly shopping? Yeah. It was so dark. Questioning God. I was pissed at Curtis because why aren't you showing any sign of, of sadness, of remorse? You're here taking care. He kept on. We had to talk every morning, lunchtime and evening. Like, how are you doing? What's happening? What's in your mind? I don't know what's in my mind. I don't know how to process this. I don't know what I'm feeling, but it's a deep sense of sorrow that I have. And a deep sense of anger towards God. I'm like, yes, I'm really angry. And a lot of questions that I'm like, where am I going to get the answers from? What's happening? The one person that I tried to get, yes. The doctors are like supposed to tell you. I mean, this is your profession. You should know. They're not giving you any answer.
Curtis is not.
And Curtis, just like,
because he's processing.
Yes. Also, he's processing the thing. If anything, Curtis went deep into work. He was deep into drawing, artists, taking projects left, right, and center.
Did that piss you off?
Somehow. Because I'm like, why is your life going on as normal? But that was his way of processing the loss. Yes. Of coping. His main concern was, how are you doing, Soila? How are you processing this? So when he got the counselor, she came for like 3-4 days to just ask, how are you doing? So what do you think? How are you processing this? The questions she was asking, which I loved the questions because they helped me go deep and understand some of the emotions that I was having. Not that those answers coming first, but at least I understood what I was feeling. And the one thing that came out of there is, please do not hold back on your grief. Saying, you know what? Think life has to go on. I have to put this, tuendelee na biashara, tuendelee na kazi, everybody's, and for me it's like, people have woken up, kids are playing, everything is happening. And then I remember that my friend was also pregnant with me at the same time. I was like, wow, so this lady, she'll get her baby, she's fine, and then me, I have nothing to show for it. What's happening here? People had already seen signs here and there. What do you tell them again? I, honestly speaking, I won't lie to tell you that I finished grieving. I remember, was it when July? Around January, Feb, I was crying out of nowhere, and the grief came so strong as though it was a first day. I was like, what's happening? It's like you still continuously grieve the children that you never get to hold. You never got to hold.
Because you had planned to. You had a due date?
Yes, exactly. April. It was going to be April. I remember. It was going to be April. Around 14th, 13th there. I was like, all right. So we have to, go through the process. I think for me, what I did best was just to go through it and not pushing it at the back of my mind and assuming that it never happened. And now calling it normal. I stopped calling it normal. Now I found another better gynecologist, went to them, told them my pregnancy history. I was like, okay, now because of what has happened, next time probably you're pregnant and everything, we'll still do blood tests and everything.
Yes.
Just to be sure there is nothing. This other doctor never took my family history. This one asked me, are there people in your family who are diabetic? Do you have certain conditions? Like there was a whole medical thing that I had to fill up in as far as my family history. In my family, are these things in existence? It's like, this is now proper thera, so that he can eliminate.
So even
any of those
taken care of now.
Yeah, I feel taken care of. Somebody's paying attention.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that was like I think 7, 8 after 6 months. I think 3 months, so that's when we went to see the doctor. After 3 months of the surgery, went to see him and said, now it's fine, you can still take time with your body, you don't have to rush this process. Take time with your body. At least we have your medical history, we know what is in your family. But when you're pregnant now, when you think you're ready, it's fine, you can go ahead. But I remember even now conceiving now our firstborn took such a long time. I was like, now I can't even conceive a baby now. I was like, so it's not happening. Yeah. And when I got pregnant with him, the first thing I did, I went to the doctor.
Okay.
And
how long was this now after?
I think around 9 months sort of. I went to him and like immediately gave me certain dawas. I was put on progesterone. Never had of things.
Also, there was
just
medication for stopping.
Further, yes. Progesterone is just further to supplement the strength of your uterus. Yes. Just in case your uterus was weak, or just in case your hormones were not enough. Progesterone is the one hormone that really helps you carry the pregnancy well. Gave me progesterone, gave me some blood thinners. Peradventure, it is a blood clot that caused your miscarriage.
You're taking care of every end.
Yes, he will ensure that he attacked every single area. And I'm on call in case of anything. Just call me, because at least he understands the history and all that. And he knows I'm a bit agitated and sensitive because other things, the others didn't go as planned. So I was very careful. And again, with this pregnancy, week 6, anxiety. Week 7, anxiety. Week 12, I was like, when we put out week 12, I couldn't believe it. I knew God. No pain, but I wasn't doing much also. I wasn't walking a lot. I wasn't, because I know first trimester is very sensitive.
Well, you still work?
No, I actually, I quit. I was like, no. No, I'm not doing this. I went back, wrote my resignation letter, and was like, that's it. After my August thingy, I think September was out of that place. September or October I was out of that place.
But were you at peace now that you had let go of some weight?
I was really at peace. I was like, one of these things is out, because also that work was really high pressure for me. Because I'm so used to creative spaces. This corporate, I was like, no, it's not for me. This is apana. Out was I was, and now here I am pregnant again a number of months later. And me and my God and my faith being worked on. After being angry at God, I was like, Sasa naenda wapi? I just have to come back to you. I mean, you're the one who gives people children.
It's true.
One thing that being in fellowship really helped me.
Okay.
Being in fellowship,
of support.
Being in fellowship, the one thing I also told is don't be alone. Don't be alone. Don't just, in your house by yourself. Go out. Go for fellowship. Meet up. My friends would come over. We don't talk about the children, the loss and everything, but just normal life, But I think the faith and the hope, that's what kept me going. And also giving me a chance to try again. I would have easily said, I don't think having children is part of our script. We shouldn't.
It's okay.
But I kept on, like, now the enemy you showed me, but you know what? I'm not going to give up on this. Now the first pregnancy and all this, the things that the doctor ensured that are in place. I remember every visit I'd go to, he had to do a scan.
Yeah,
he had to do a scan.
That was
so
important
that
for you.
He had to do a scan, like your baby's healthy, there's a heartbeat, well positioned,
Yeah.
growing very well, there is weight gain. I was like, that's really good, because I really wanted to see the baby. And he made me see that every time I go for the clinic. How are you feeling? Back? Are there cramps? I'm like, no, I'm fine. Okay, just ensure that you don't exert too much pressure on your body. Just go easy on yourself. And I did. And I sure I did. I didn't do so much. We didn't have a nanny. I used to have one person come. Because just the two of us, honestly.
Course,
Person who comes to clean the clothes and everything and clean the house, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm also not working, so it's not pressure. The only thing we are doing is content creation for the YouTube platform. I ensure that it was just a smooth, easy journey. And honestly, that pregnancy was such a graceful journey for me. It wasn't the hardest. I didn't have a lot of complication. There was no complication, let me say that. There was no complication. It was easy. The boy was born on his due date. I was like, yeah, minus plus 2 weeks. The guy came on his due date. Even his birth was very easy for me. It wasn't really traumatic and everything. I really enjoyed the pregnancy, and I think it sort of gave me more hope for even more children. Yes, he did actually. It's like you can't have gone through that and still have a very tough pregnancy. It's like, yeah, I'm really grateful for that.
Okay.
And then from there, I was like, yes, now let's raise a young boy here. I was so happy, but the question that kept on coming to my mind is like, what would have been of these children?
Did you know the sex of the third one?
No, I was supposed to know. 12 weeks? No, I didn't.
Not yet.
I didn't. And that doctor was like the traditional one. Like, he was very old school, no doing scans until a particular time. So I was like, oh, the first one. Yeah, so we couldn't tell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never did anything. The only thing I'd show up at his office and Patia the next dose for the next month. How are you doing? And that's it. No checking, no nothing. I was like,
so we're actually glad you went to another person.
I'm so happy I did.
Maybe this was actually part of your healing.
I think yes. I think just to have somebody giving you that extra attention was really helpful in knowing that you have somebody walking you every step of the journey. Yeah. But also Curtis, afterwards, he told me that he was also processing his own grief by doing the work. You know, going and him. Yes, because he needed to be sober for me at that particular time. And we were having that conversation later on, like, but how did you actually process it? I was like, I was having my own internal battles.
Did you need him to break? Did you feel like you needed him to cry with you?
You know, yes, and like that's how I know we are together in this. But you're not crying. You're not
but
crying.
him is there macho.
He's macho man. If anything, anachora too. I'm calls. Amanda, can I leave today? Are you okay if I leave? I'm like, just go. But this for just to go. Just know I'm not happy with you leaving me. I just wanted him for myself. Wanted him too. Yeah. Anyway, after quitting, I was taking him to work. Tumeenda kwa studio pamoja. It's me helping his students here and there. And I think I became too clingy. Oh my gosh. I became too clingy at that particular time. Oh my God. But
this was you processing, and I think it was looking back now, in retrospect, it was important.
It was very important. It was.
But now you have 2 babies. How old is she now?
She's 1 year. 1 year.
1 year. It's okay.
She's 1 year and a few months.
Okay.
Many she was born in December. So December, January, February, March, April, May, June. 7 months.
17. No, 17 plus 12.
Plus
7 plus 12.
Yeah, 7 plus 12. Those are my months. Yeah.
19.
1 year and something months.
Yeah, no, it's hard to count.
It's hard to. We know how to count our pregnancy weeks.
The months and the trimesters.
Once they are born, that's it. Particularly with the second baby, you never. Kumbusha. How old are you again?
Tell me about the names. I love the names. I love that they are very unique. I don't know what they mean. I was telling Pascal the names, like, what do they mean? I said they will tell us. So now, what do they mean, and why did you pick the names?
The other thing about these children, I think also that's the one aspect of the hope that I had in me.
Okay.
We got the names of our children way before we were pregnant. We are spiritual people, yada yada. So Curtis got the word Remani, the name Remani. And Remani just comes from the word Rema. Rema is your spoken word of God.
Spoken word of God.
Yes. And now the aspect of money is just ours.
So
Rema, and then now make it a bit more.
Okay.
Sound kita mtoto wa Rema. I know, I don't know kwa mtu anaitwa Rema, but I know. The people who are called Rema, right?
Well, kuna watu wanaitwa majina. Rema is
so it's just
it's very classy.
Yeah, so for us Remani is just, he means spoken word of God.
Okay.
Because it's Remani Asa Wamalwa. Asa is just the creative, just calling out the creative aspect of who he is. Asa.
Oh.
A-S-A-H.
Asa.
Yes.
Asa.
Daktari. Asa Wamalwa. Asa. It's Asa.
The same thing happened. The doctor called the baby Aria. It's Araya.
And they don't care.
And you know when I corrected him, he was upset.
Yes.
I said, okay, next time I won't correct you. Just call him what you want. Call her what you want. It's
so
Araya.
Asa. It's true. You reminded me how they used to call him Asa. I'm like, no, it's Asa.
So there's Remani.
Asa. Asa, Madam.
Asa,
Wamalwa. And then Imora Yatara. Imora is a Luo word meaning you give me joy, just joy.
Imora is a Luo word?
Yeah, it means joy.
Are you for
Imora. So that's why you call her Imora. Like if you're give me joy.
I would have thought
you
it's
make
like
me
a
happy.
Zulu name.
Yeah. No!
From, you know, Imora is this from here.
E means, inakwanga nini, Mr. Curtis? You, sindio? Yeah, you. So E, you.
Nani David should tell us, Imora is...
It's her.
It's true, yeah?
E, like in another statement, Curtis, Ichwado. Next one, any?
Chapa. Ichwado is chapa.
Chwado. Ichwada, unanichapa. So it's just a statement, but instead of calling somebody joy, so we call her Imora. It just means joy. You give me joy. You brought me joy, which she did. Yatara is somebody with the spirit of excellence.
Who's Yatara?
She's her, Imora Yatara. Oh. She has like 4 names. Imora Yatara Nemayana. Nemayana is a Maasai name, meaning the blessed one. And then Wamalwa. Yatara just means, because even when I was pregnant with her, I could, and just thinking God about some of, because we just got the first name, we didn't have the second and the third name. I was just like, Daniel in the original rendering of the spirit of excellence in the book of Daniel, it's Yatara Ruach.
Yeah.
So we just, it's like that's what she carries, that spirit of excellence. So yeah, she's called Imora, Yatara, Nemayana, and then Wamalwa. Hata ukiona tu ID yake sijui ataacha gani wawache na
kwani mko Pascal. Nisiseme jina zake juu
atakunyonga. Atakwambia, madam, what did you do? Why?
But I look at his names, I'm like, they're this slow. They keep going.
Yeah, they keep going. So for us, it's very important to how to name children, because you call out the essence and the character that you want them to have.
Yes.
And because for us also, God was very intentional in giving us some of those names way before we gave back to them. And we had the name Imora and it's a girl before I got pregnant. Yeah. So I remember when I went for shopping, when Ramani grew and then he no longer fits into his onesies and rompers. When I was going for shopping, I didn't know I was pregnant with Imora. I went shopping for a girl's clothes. I was like, here's Ramani's clothes, but I'll also shop extra for a second born. You know, we never know when she's going to come. But I know we're going to have a girl. Let me tell you, I went for that kind. It was a girl's like, God, this is how faith works.
I know. After all this,
you know, there's opportunity. They're like, probably, she's a third born, fourth born. But she became, very intentional. And for me, it keeps on grounding me in him. Like no matter the process that I went through of losing the children that I did, we have 2 sitting in our dining table right now eating with us. We have the other 3 in heaven.
All that has happened.
Yes. Would have wished for them to be here, but God had other plans.
He did.
And really grateful for my husband. Because if he wasn't strong enough, I don't think I would have survived that season. I don't think I would have survived that season for sure. If it wasn't for community, I don't think I would also have survived. Because also he needed the community. You know, he's pouring so much into me. Who's pouring into him? I didn't have the energy to pour back into him at that particular time. I was taking out, asking him tough questions that he didn't have answers to. You know.
Curtis, I hope you went for counseling.
Did you go for counseling with his Lord?
Oh, with the Lord? Which is important, actually.
We're actually together during those counseling sessions, but also just him talking to his boys. Because now we also notice that our another friend of ours, very close friend of ours, had also gone through a miscarriage. And now just having communion and communication and fellowship just around the same thing. How are you dealing with it? There's just a warmth of fellowship at that particular period if somebody else has gone through it and you feel like you're not alone in this. Not that it's a good thing. Not that it's a good thing for all of us to go through miscarriage so that we have something common to bond over. But it just felt warm.
I feel like everything we go through is for another person. I keep telling God sometimes, can you use another person to, use it as an example?
Why me?
Why does it have to be me?
And then it's like, why not you? Why do you want somebody else to go through that?
And then later on when you realize the impact it has had on somebody else, you're like, it was worth it, it's okay, I'm sorry.
It was. And that's one of the conversations that I said, I don't think we are ready to have this. Because I remember when we were creating content, the entire time I was pregnant, we didn't show people.
Okay.
People knew afterwards, and I had given birth, and the baby was like, "Do you how many months?" Because we were just recording videos, and then after birth, that's when we put the first video up. And people thought now we were pregnant. No, the baby was already in the house. Okay. And then
just
after
being
that,
cautious, I guess.
just being cautious. And then after that, it was like, now are we ready to share the miscarriage experience? And that was like many months later. I was like, okay. Sometimes some of these stories are not just for you.
It's not for you.
Yeah, somebody else. And the feedback that we got from that, I actually didn't know the number of people who actually go through it, and the number of people who don't talk about it.
They don't talk about it.
So this is very critical and important because there's a stigma around it. Wewe umerogwa. Wewe kuna kitu mtu kuna kitu. Hey, are you sure sio auntie yako alisema kitu?
And you know how many families break because of that? Some men don't know how to process it, and so they go outside.
I know.
Or the women, become hostile for the man.
Yes.
And then the guy or it's not an excuse, but it's something that needs to be processed.
It needs to be processed.
And if not, it can be very
I think if it's not easy to process between the two of you, I think it's better to seek a counselor, a professional to help you process the emotions, because you don't have. In us seeking the answers of why, we say, I think it's your family. You're like, no, I think ni familia yenyu. Hai, nyinyi watu wenyu nakuanga hivi na hivi. Ama maisha yako before. Is this why you're paying? Like, but is God that sadistic, really?
That's not
God.
That's not God.
That's not God. It's not that sadistic. You may have, the enemy might have found loopholes to just cause some of those things, but honestly speaking, our God is still righteous.
And He's a very merciful God.
Very merciful and very graceful.
And He's graceful.
The words we use.
Thank you for the word grace. I needed that. I want you to look into this camera and just talk to that lady today, because I know, like you're saying, and part of this show, the reason why we started this is to create that awareness and to break the stigma. Tell people you're not alone.
No, it's true.
So maybe someone is watching and they're saying, I'm literally right in it now. Maybe I just came from surgery or just got the news.
God.
Because I remember when I got my news, the doctor said there's nothing in the sac. I have never forgotten that word. What do you mean there's nothing in the sac? We drove. Pascal was reminding me the other day, we went to Valley Road and he showed me, maybe you remember this road? I'm like, what happened? He said, Indule barabara nilipita offside when I was lying on my back with my legs up, because I was now it was coming out. The baby was
my God. How many weeks were you?
I think 6.
Oh my God.
So you can imagine the journey back home of silence.
Yes, of silence. And where do we start from?
I know this road. But now someone watching, maybe what would you say finally as we
honestly speaking, I don't think I ever have one thing to say. But allow your grief. Don't push it back. Go through it. As it comes, go through it. Allow yourself to feel it. And then also accept help. When people reach out to you, accept help. If you're the one reaching out to somebody else who's gone through a miscarriage, you don't have to talk about the baby and everything. It's the same way. If somebody gives birth, how you show up for them, you take, allow them to go through the normal life. Is it having tea, have you taken water, have you had a bath, do you want food? Those are some of the conversations you have, just to ensure that they feel you there. Some people are also hurt by their friends not knowing what to say, and then they never talk. They wait a very long time for them to and then it also hurts them. So if a friend has gone through it, just be there. You don't have to talk about it. Ask them what they are feeling and yada yada. Just be there for them in as far as in their space. Bring food, bring water. Let's go out make them laugh. Let's go out for tea, for coffee, and all that. There's beauty in community. There's really beauty in community when you've gone through a miscarriage. Don't shut yourself in the house by yourself, trying to process a thing because you think you are alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. Watch content of people who are encouraging and haven't gone through that, so that you can also feel some sense of oneness, community unity in that journey. And it gets better with time. It gets better with time. Just be very hopeful. Be very hopeful. Don't lose hope because it has happened. Even if it's like I don't know the number what. Have faith. It's going to happen. And forget the blame game. It's what I did. It doesn't do you good. It never does you any good. So stay in fellowship, stay connected to your friends and also to your partner. I mean, they're also going through it in their own way. Have vulnerable conversations and communication with each other. Find out how they are doing as they find out how you're doing. It's a season of really cultivating that warmth and connection, because for us that's what happened. We really grew together at that particular point. I know sometimes people grow apart. It matters how you manage each other at that particular point, and that's why it's easier. If you think it's tough for the both of you, get a third party to help you process what you're going through. That's what advises me.
Thank you.
Oh, and there's God.
Yeah. Don't run away from God.
Don't
I always
run
say
away.
run towards Him.
Run towards Him.
Towards Him, whatever
towards
happens.
Him.
So there you know. Of course, I wish this conversation went further, but we don't have time. Davy's on my case. But hey, guys, I am so excited about this. I love such conversations. We will bring more people. I know we've talked about miscarriage, but there's also the loss of the baby. You know, the stillbirth. The baby has been born.
Given. Oh my God!
There was no breathing. You know, so if you're in that category, don't be afraid to reach out.
Yeah.
You know, loss is loss. Even if it was a 2 weeks pregnancy, it's a loss because your body is prepared. You know, your mind is prepared because you know you're carrying someone. So when you lose that baby, it can be easy.
It's life.
Yeah, but there's a God. The same way the enemy is trying to kill and steal and destroy, there's a God who is willing to heal and to give peace, and above all to also now bring surplus and to even bless you beyond your imagination. So from us to you, we love you. God be with you. If you're going through a loss, may the Lord just heal you from His own way and from the level that you're at. If it's in denial, the Lord will help you process the denial. If it's acceptance, He will help you to also now, find that grace to accept whatever has happened. And just know it's not your fault.
Yeah.
I think that's where we fail. We think it's my fault. I did that. You're saying no, it's not your fault. Yeah. So from us to you, bye-bye. See you next time. And this has been our Cradle Love, the one and only Soila.
Soila.
Bye.
Bye.